Here's the thing about the Big 12. Now, the Big 12, if they could get even 4 of the Pac-12 teams, but let alone 6, not only do they add some really good brands, and Oregon, Washington would be tremendous for the Big 12, but Utah certainly fits very well in there, and the Arizona, you add value to your thing, but a little like we discussed, last week. I think one of these days we did these.
Yeah.
The Big Ten's TV value went up, not just by adding 2 Pac-12 schools, but eliminating the Pac-12 as a viable Plan B option.
Correct.
And making themselves more desirable by supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they increase the demand, but they decreased the supply to where it's just them. The Big 12 would, the best thing the Big 12 could do, because right now there's 3 TV deals coming up. Big 10, that is Plan A all the way. Then there's these 2 other ones. Pac-12 and Big 12 for the other leagues to bid on, including ESPN. Well, if you eliminate one, if you burn down the other house, now you're the last house. So again, supply and demand. The Big 12 would get more money, not just by adding the markets they add and the fan bases they add, but eliminating competition. So this would be very big. And, maybe you sit there and say to Oregon and Washington, come with us, but if you want to leave, if the Big Ten ever calls, you can go.
Sure. You offer them a codicil in the contract that says if you have an out to the Big Ten, we will release you from your grant of rights.
Come sign a 10-year deal with us. But if any Big Ten wants any of you guys, you have an out. And maybe that is the kind of contingency. And again, these are just all going to be wild negotiations at this point. That maybe the Big 12 can get them, and even if they don't, if nothing else, they get the immediate bump of we're the only game in town to bid on after the Big Ten, and someone like CBS is going to do it, or you bank on the Big Ten never taking them.
Right.
Maybe that's enough to destabilize the Pac-12. I don't know. Right now, it doesn't look too destabilized. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think, first of all, there is some faith in George Kliavkoff, the commissioner, in terms of him putting a big brain to work proactively and coming up with something that can be at least viable for the Pac-12. So I think there's much more belief in the commissioner of the Pac-12 right now than there was in the previous commissioner.
That is 100% true. Yeah.
Yeah. Like George might be able to come up with something here. And so I think, if you're Oregon, you're Washington, everybody else, Arizona State, like, okay, let's see what George can do here. We do not have to go rushing to the Big 12 right now.
Let's
wait. Yeah. Let's wait and see what George can come up with. And then, they can look at their own alternatives in terms of, there's been some talk about add San Diego State, add SMU, get yourself back into the SoCal market with the Aztecs. We're building a new stadium. SMU, I've always kind of thought, look, here's the one problem. One thing that people often miss when discussing TV market size is what share of the market do they get? Dallas is, first of all, a Cowboys market. Secondly, it's probably a Texas market. Third, it's probably A&M, and then you get Baylor. And so, like, SMU's well down the list in the DFW Metroplex in terms of what people are watching. But the Pac-12 has no presence in Texas. You want to play in Texas. You want to recruit in Texas. SMU, I think, could be an attractive team. You get to 12 with those two. You maybe even talk them into taking a lesser deal to join the league.
There's also UNLV.
There's UNLV, absolutely.
Las Vegas as a possibility.